So the 2020 AFC Cup is almost upon us, Asia's version of the Europa League. Bali United did so well in their Champions League qualification games, beating Tampines Rovers from Singapore in the first round, but unfortunately coming unstuck against much better opposition in Melbourne Victory in the second round. Can they go one better in the AFC Cup and potentially even win the competition? I think they can. Let's have a look at their chances. Firstly, let's look at some of the old winners of the AFC Cup in recent years. The only team from Southeast Asia to have won the competition in any recent history have been JDT from Malaysia. They actually won it in 2015, and apart from that, it's pretty much been dominated by the teams from West Asia and the Middle East. Football teams from Lebanon, Iraq and Kuwait have won it a lot in recent years, but with the money being pumped into Bali United and the positive sentiment from the fans, the new stadium that's coming, there's absolutely no reason why they can't win it themselves. So moving on to Bali United's group. So the group stage of the AFC Cup is split into regional zones. There is the West Asia zone, the Southeast Asia zone, which Bali United fall into, the Central Asian zone and the East Asian zone. They find themselves in Group G along with Filipino champions Ceres, Than Quang Ninh, who came third in the Vietnamese league last year, and Cambodian champions Svay Rieng. Now, I think looking at those three teams, Bali United recently are probably the most well known. Going into these competitions can be a little bit of an unknown, how you're going to go on the road, how you're going to play at home, especially against different opposition, but coming from that region and being the champions of Indonesia, I don't see why they can't go and beat these three teams. If they win their group, they are guaranteed to go into the zonal semi-finals, but if they come second, they have to be the best runners-up out of the three groups in the zone to reach the zonal semi-finals. Why do I think Bali United have such a good chance? Well, if they do get through to the semi-finals, they may face Tampines Rovers from Singapore. In the Asian Champions League qualifiers, they actually beat Tampines Rovers 5-3 away in Singapore. So that is the level that Bali United are at. They've already won a Champions League game against similar opposition that are in the AFC Cup. You look at some of the players that Bali have got, and there's absolutely no reason that they can't perform in this competition. Batchteam, Lily Pally, Nori, the big man up front, I'm sure they're all going to really want to impress in this competition and win yet another trophy for Bali. When are the first games in this competition though? The 11th of February is when Bali play their first game, and it's at the Stadion Kapten Iwayan Dipta. They're playing Than Quang Ninh from Vietnam, so I think probably the easiest game for them. They actually finished third in the Vietnamese league. Bali United are champions of Indonesia. I think they're going to wipe the floor with them, and I really hope they do. I know that the Bali fans are going to create such an atmosphere at that game. The Northside boys are going to be singing their hearts out. You'll never walk alone, Bali United, Salam Alanya, and I think the fans are going to take the team forward and help them win that game. It's a real shame that I'm missing out, but I am currently in Portugal. I would love to be coming to that game and supporting Bali United along with the fans. Next up for them is an away trip to Svay Rieng in Cambodia. I think that's a good start to the draw. They've got a good home game that they can win against Vietnamese opposition, and then they go to Cambodia, which I think the league in Indonesia is probably a better standard than that of Cambodia, and if the Indonesian champions are playing a game there, then there's absolutely no reason they shouldn't win that. So we're looking at 6 points from the first two games, hopefully for Bali United. And following that is going to be what I think is their toughest game of the group stage, an away trip to Ceres in Philippines. Sorry about some of the pronunciations. With the next game after that being the same team, the Filipino team Ceres, at home at the Stadion Kapten Iwayan Dipta. Following the two games against the Filipino opposition, it is time to head to Vietnam for the away game there. Again, a point would be a good result on the road for Bali United if they had already won the first two games and maybe a point in each of the games against the Filipino opposition. I think Bali can aim for a win in this game as well. And then the final group stage game all the way in May. I can't wait to see how Bali have got on at this point, and that is against the Cambodian side at home. Svay Rieng at the Stadion Kapten Iwayan Dipta. I still think Bali are going to absolutely wipe the floor with them in this one and probably win about 3 or 4-0. I think they'll just be too strong. And from there, it will be the zonal semi-finals. So hopefully Bali can get through the group as winners and face somebody like the Tampines Rovers in the zonal semi-final. We know they've already beaten them already this season, so hopefully they can do it again. The semi-finals will be played over 2 legs in May and June. From there, Bali can go on to compete in the zonal final. And the zonal final will be played in August, again across 2 legs. Hopefully Bali are then the zonal finalists and the zonal winners of this trophy. From there are more games between the interzone winners of this competition before a grand final of the AFC Cup in November 2020. Now that's a long way away, and I can't wait to track the progress of Bali United in this competition. I'm sure that the stadium's going to look absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to watch the highlights from the games at home at Bali United Stadium. I can't wait to see how they get on, and the fact that they're already competing in these kind of competitions after being such a new club is such a great achievement for them. If you're a Bali United fan, please let me know in the comments if you think that Bali United can go on and win this competition. Who do you think their main competitors are going to be in the group stage? Who do you want to avoid in the next round if you get through the group? And who do you think you could play in the eventual overall final in November? So I think they've got a really good chance. I'll be keeping up to date with their progress. Bali United Salamania, you'll never walk alone. Come on, Bali.